Good morning and welcome back to the channel, guys. I know I've been gone for a little bit, but sometimes you need to take a break, right? So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Drew, and during the pandemic, I started doing something that was a little more interesting and fun for me, helped me get creative, also helped me get out of my house. Right, so when the house starts feeling like a prison, you got to figure out what to do, and for me, it was walking around my neighborhood. Well, while walking, I decided I would start recording videos focused on a word. Right, I think language is important. I think how we look at language is important because words matter. So I started exploring different words, different topics, kind of through my own lens, both the good and the bad. And then I stopped, right? Why did I stop? Well, sometimes I just got lazy. Just didn't want to do it. Other times I found it hard to be creative, to find that creative spirit that really kind of drives this type of content, right? Especially when you're doing it in a vacuum or you're doing it as an individual. But this week I've been inspired, so we're gonna give this a shot again. All right, so today, the word I wanna focus on is acceptance, right? Acceptance is a powerful word because not only how it makes us feel, but what it does for us. Our ability to accept the things that we can control, as well as accept the things that we can't. And here over the last, we'll call it a week or so, you know what, let's call it 8 months. Acceptance has been a challenge, not only for me, but a lot of people that I talk to. A lot of my customers, a lot of my friends. And I'll give you a story. Earlier this year, I struggled really bad. Mental health was in a bad place, which meant I was in a bad place. And I looked at the environment in the world around me, and I couldn't put my finger on it, but something wasn't right. Right? Maybe I wasn't in the right position at work. Maybe I wasn't at the right job. So I started looking, right? You start looking at other roles. You start figuring out how much greener can the grass be over there. And what that negativity did was it started manifesting itself in other ways and in other places, right? Because that's essentially what happened, right? It becomes negative. This negativity starts just as a thought in your brain, in this case my brain, and then it starts to spread a lot like cancer. And negativity attracts other negativity, and it continues to grow, and it just continues to just fester and manifest. And then before you know it, you're looking at all different aspects of your life and seeing things that are not successful, right? Maybe just my own personal just kind of experience, working out less, eating crap because it was easy to get to. And this negativity just continues to swirl and boil, and it just negatively just impacted my entire life to where everything that I looked at around me, especially, you know, personal life as well as my professional life, I started grading myself against others, or grading myself against where I thought I needed to be, versus actually celebrating the successes that I had and celebrating where I was at in that moment, right? And that's where acceptance kind of came into play for me. I began accepting the fact that I was where I am. And that was okay, because where I was successful. Where I was a good place, but I was trying to make it more than it needed to be rather than what it was. And I tell you, the universe works in crazy ways, right? Once I accepted the fact that I was where I was, and you know, I was doing a pretty good job at it. I needed to ease up on myself a little bit, and I needed to enjoy the process and be patient. That's important, patience and acceptance. And you know what? Something in the universe paid attention, right? Because work got better, life got better, it became easier to make healthier decisions as it relates to my health, my mental health, as well as my physical health, right? So you'll love this story. A friend of mine, anytime I get on the phone with her, she calls me Two Snacks. Because every time I would go to a gas station, I'd always come out with 2 snacks. And that was part of that acceptance manifesting in weird ways, making me feel like I needed to do something to satisfy something that I didn't even have, right? Well, I've had conversations over the last several weeks with some of my friends who, you know, just kind of telling this story again, the bad place that I was in at the beginning of the year, how I felt inadequate, how I felt unsuccessful. And they were going through this same journey, these same feelings, the same kind of specific awareness. And we had these conversations about accepting that we were in the places that we were, and every one of us kind of identifying how our world has changed since acceptance, right? Now, how do you do that? How do you accept where you are? How do you kind of be present and be in the moment? And I'll tell you, acceptance, this story is kind of spun in a positive way. You may feel like you're in a bad place right now. Accept that, because moments are just that. They're fleeting moments in time. So you can accept that you're in a positive place right now. You can also accept that you're in a negative place right now. The idea is that we're owning where we are right now in this moment, where we are in the universe, where we are in our own space. We're going to own it and say, this is where I am. This is who I am right now. Where do I want to be tomorrow? Right? Because every day is a new day to start over. And I'll tell you, this year has been a crazy journey for me, just as I've explored deeper into mental health, deeper into my own space. And how we speak to ourselves becomes powerful too. So part of that acceptance is that positive self-talk. That self-talk that becomes about acceptance. Right? When we start talking and thinking bad in here, everything else manifests itself out there. So that's my word for the day, is acceptance. It was really weighing on me yesterday. Had some really amazing conversations with some of my friends that kind of help support the idea of getting back out and doing this. So guys, have a great Wednesday. Regardless of where you're at, you're in a good space, you're in a bad space. Accept that you are where you are, but understand you have the ability to change that, right? Make a plan, talk to somebody about it, get out of your own head, right? That's going to be important. But guys, go forth the rest of this day, the rest of this week. Put yourself in a better position right now so that tomorrow will be better. I'll see you on the next video. Have a good one.